And now, weighing in out of the blue corner, Josh the Punk Thompson. 100%. And on the other mic, he weighs in from the red corner, Big Sean McCarthy.
All right, it's about time for a new edition of the Weighing In podcast. Josh Thompson and I are here to talk about UFC 272 that just took place in Las Vegas, Nevada. We had some good fights. We had some pretty bad fights in some of them, but overall, it was a fun card to watch. A lot of things going on, a lot of things happening. Khabib being put into the UFC Hall of Fame. Yep, that should be done. There's no doubt about that one. I'm sure you're a little happy about that with your ex-teammate.
Mm-hmm.
Is there
I mean, well-deserved. Yeah, I see ex-teammates. If we're both not fighting, we're ex-teammates.
Okay.
Or former teammates. I mean, obviously a first ballot Hall of Famer kind of situation going on with him. I mean, absolutely. It's on to the next and see what else. I mean, you see the energy that he brings when it comes coaching his. I
saw some energy when he was coaching Tiger.
Yeah, he was livid, man.
Yeah.
So, but hey, John, we're gonna start off at the top though, and and get into this. But hey, before we start off, go to weighinginpodcast.com. Make sure you guys select a t-shirt out of there, or a sweater, or a hoodie, and a coffee mug, whatever it is. We've got some new merch up on that site, and there's no promo code because those are the prices that we set because it is our merch site. So hopefully you guys enjoyed some of that, and go to weighinginpodcast.com, pick up some merch, and post a picture of yourself wearing it. We truly appreciate it. Thanks for the support. Let's get into the main event, John. Let's jump right into it.
Well, it was funny because you talked about, we discussed, sometimes when you get these heated rivalries, they just don't turn out to be the great fights that you want them to be. This wasn't bad, but it wasn't great, and it was based upon Colby being Colby and using his wrestling, and Masvidal getting tired. He got tired. The wrestling wore him down, and that was a big part. Now, I will say that I didn't get to see a majority of the second round. Thank you very much, ESPN and your pay-per-view service. But you took about 3 minutes of my pay-per-view and shit on it because you took it off my screen. So I didn't get to see that. I heard that Masvidal actually had a decent round there. Some people thought he won it. Others didn't. So it was close. But I really, you got to look and say, Colby Covington is never going to be an exciting fighter. I'm sorry. He's just not exciting. He's good. I will not take anything away from him, but he doesn't have a ton of punching power. He throws punches at times, that you look and you go, that was not good, but he's able to get away with it because he's got that pressure, and the pressure that he has. And you got to give it to him. He's got a good chin because he'll take a shot, man. He takes shots and, he comes back, he responds. Masvidal, at this point, you're taking a look and he gave it everything he had, and there's nothing you can say. Colby was never close to finishing him, but it was just one of those fights that you wanted more based upon just the rivalry and the supposed hatred between the two. And in the end, I'm not sure that it produced what we wanted. Josh, I have a question for you. How many times have you gone to the grocery store wanting to get a fantastic steak or a giant chicken or turkey or fresh fish, and you really can't find anything that looks good? Well, I have the answer for you, Mr. Thompson. It is Butcher Box, and I'm telling you right now, Butcher Box is a fantastic plan that you, as a single individual or someone with a family, can get outstanding 100% grass-fed beef. We're talking wild sea-caught fish. We're talking chicken that is GAP, meaning that it's global animal protected. These people do things right. Butcher Box is a fantastic system of you being able to order the type of meat you want to eat and be healthy and be doing it the right way, knowing that the animals were taken care of.
Yeah, to answer your question, though, John, it's because every time I go and I start looking for the no antibiotics or the no added hormones at the store, you've got to search for a good 5 to 10 minutes before you find it. And then when you get there, you don't see the cut that you like. So, of course, now at Butcher Box, When you go there, it gives you all the layouts of what you would like to eat, and they put it into a box. It's shipped to your house, and I got to tell you, it is amazing. So for my favorite, like some of my favorite meat cuts from them is the ribeye, obviously some of the salmon as well, but I'm telling you guys right now, if you guys go to butcherbox.com/weighing-in, use that promo code weighing-in, okay, and pick out your order. And John, we're going to give away a little bit of extra meat today, okay, if you guys use our promo for the life of it. 2 pounds of ground beef free in every order for the life of your membership. John, did you hear that? Life of your membership. Okay, if you guys use our promo code.
I did hear that, and I want to make sure that everyone understands. Look, right now I'm raising chickens. I've got free-range chickens, and I'm telling you, the chickens that you get from ButcherBox, it's just outstanding. I made a meal with my daughter, who is a culinary master. She is actually certified as a chef, and just an incredible meal. It is so easy to use ButcherBox, and the quality of the meat is fantastic. You can't ask for anything more. So everybody out there, once again, you want to go to butcherbox.com/weighing-in. You will get, like Josh said, 2 pounds of ground beef for life with every order you get. You can't ask for anything more like that. You're getting free food. Everyone's just handing things out here. ButcherBox is the way to go. It is a fantastic system.
If you have doubts, no antibiotics or added hormones. Each box contains between 8 to 14 pounds of meat, depending on the type of box that you chose. Packed fresh and shipped, frozen for your convenience, so you can save time on your next grocery store trip. Customize your box at yourself. So have it delivered to your house with the convenience of not having to go to the grocery store, having to wait in those long lines. I go to certain places and the lines are ridiculous right now. And the price of meat is through the roof. Not at ButcherBox when you use our promo code weighing-in. Go to butcherbox.com/weighing-in. Use that promo code. And like John said, 2 pounds of ground beef in every order for the life of your membership.
Customized or the way they'll give it to you. Either way, you can get your order how you want it. You can't ask for anything more. Go do it now.
John,
go ahead.
It never does. It very rarely does it produce the rivalry.
I know.
You know, I mean, I got to be honest. When I saw Ngannou and Cyril Gane, they fought. Same thing. There's a little bit of rivalry there. It was a good fight, but it wasn't a great fight. John Jones and Rashad, it was a good fight, but it wasn't a great fight. We've seen it in the past. People that don't like each other, and they've trained together, or they just don't like each other. They're afraid to lose to each other. And so they want to exclude as many risks as possible and try to fight the safest fight they can because they don't want to get finished. And that goes for both sides. Colby being one to blame as well in this situation. Just riding the top position, not really striking a whole lot. Occasional strike here and there, maybe occasional threat of the rear naked. But no real major offense going on in that situation. And George, as soon as he started getting tired, the output on the feet wasn't the same. He started lunging and reaching. He caught him, I think, in the 4th round with a beautiful shot that wobbled Colby.
But he couldn't follow it up because he was tired.
But he was so tired that he couldn't follow it up. It was almost like, if I go and I get taken down. It's that understanding of like you said, the X factor is the wrestling.
Yep.
Had Masvidal chased him down and tried to finish him, he probably would have lunged himself into a takedown. And so that's a shitty situation. But man, he has explosive moments, Masvidal does, throughout the fight. He does that little switch punch that's beautiful. I love that. And he landed clean throughout the fight. It just wasn't enough. Like, the other thing is, well, when you know someone knows your trick a little bit, you got to be cautious about how much you throw it because you know they've trained for that. And he threw it quite a bit, but the pressure, the pushing of the pace, all of those things. But both fighters didn't want to end up being knocked out, or they didn't want to end up being submitted. They didn't want to get finished. And so it ended up being one of these, okay, let me just stay tight when I'm taken down, and the guy on top not really doing a whole lot. He's like, because I'm dominating the fight right now, so let me just control the position. And those are the type of fights you get when people don't like each other. Now, the problem is you and I we're guilty of it as well, along with everyone else at home. We buy into this.
Oh, yeah.
Every freaking promo. We're like, oh, yeah. We start licking our chops.
Suck me in.
I have to remind people that these fights are never really the best fights. So it's
sometimes.
Yeah.
Every now and then all right, let's see. Conor versus Nate Diaz. The second one, come on, great fight. They, both of them were going after it. It was a great, rematch. And those are the ones you look and you go, wow, that was a great fight. And there was that heat. Now,
but John, they never trained together. They never really knew.
No, that's true.
Connor gets under everyone's skin, so he's gonna dislike, like everybody. Him and Jose Aldo. He finds a way to get them to hate him or whatever it is, right? I mean, look at the situation with him and Khabib. You know what I mean? So, like when you're talking,
Khabib hate him?
I'm talking about. He still does. I'm just simply saying, like when you end up with guys like this that have trained together. That's why I get kind of concerned with the Dustin Poirier fight against Colby. I'm like, I don't know if I really want to see it. You have a smaller guy now he's a big guy. He's pretty well built. He could fight at 70 if he wanted to. Dustin, he's a little bit smaller than most 70 pounders, but he's a stud. There's no doubt. But Colby knows what he's doing when he's calling these guys out. He's like, look, I've trained with these guys. I've wrestled with these guys. He's like, I know if I take him down, I'll just keep taking him down. Now, if you put Colby in, or not Colby, but if you put Dustin against Masvidal, I look at them as almost being very similar. There's more of a submission threat from Dustin Poirier, but than Masvidal to him. So if you match them up, I would say Dustin's maybe got a little bit more of a chance in the submission area, but I wouldn't give it that much. And he's a smaller fighter. George is bigger than Dustin. So I think you're just looking at a repeat of this type of thing. So I don't even know it'd be worth it for Dustin to take the fight. You know what I mean? I just don't want to. I don't want to see the promo being built up and then I get suckered into buying it again.
You're gonna get suckered in. You know why? Because you're a sucker like me.
Yeah. We just, So
That's all
I just didn't want to leave the house last night, and so I ended up buying it. And I was like, I like George. So I was like, my money's going to something good.
That's it.
But other than that, look. The fight didn't live up to what we thought.
Yeah, but I don't want to take anything away from Colby because he fought a good fight, fought a tough fight, fought a smart fight. He is a grinder, and this is where you people want excitement. He's not going to be that guy that's really exciting. He just doesn't have that type of style. But he is good, and he is a guy that he can take on a lot of guys just based upon his wrestling ability and his pressure, because his pressure is difficult to deal with. He is in your face. He's stepping back. He's taking one step back, and all of a sudden he's coming forward right away, putting pressure on you, forcing you towards the cage. He's good at what he does, and he was better, last night than Masvidal was, and he deserved the win, but I don't know if the score will ever be settled.
I have a question. Why have we never seen Colby versus Gilbert Burns? I know Gilbert's I think he's already matched up against Chimaev, right? That fight's already been set.
Yeah.
I understand that. Like I'm not trying to switch up fights and this and that, but the Colby Covington versus Gilbert Burns, knowing that Colby, like he just utilizes his wrestling, puts a lot of pressure, you're falling right into that trap with Gilbert. And on the feet, if we go back and watch, Gilbert's got better stand-up than Colby. There's no doubt about that.
Yeah.
He may slow down as the fight goes on. Yeah, he's definitely got more power. You saw that with the Usman fight. He's got more speed on the feet as well. He puts the combinations together well. He does slow down when he stands more, but I don't understand why that fight has never happened. That fight to me is one of those fights that should happen. I think as soon as Chimaev and him fight,
you are jumping the shark on this one.
I am.
He's got a fight already. Let's go.
But even if he beats Chimaev though, John, even if he beats Chimaev, I still think they should fight. Even if he loses Chimaev, I think he should fight.
Well, he's not going to fight. First off, if he loses to Chimaev, that's not going to be his fight. That will be Chimaev's fight.
No, that's true.
Colby's sitting at number one. The real question is, does the UFC want to put him back against Usman again? And I'm not too sure that they're too hot on doing that. Eventually it might happen, but he's going to have to go through a lot of people and prove there's nobody else. And that's
I think to me, I don't know if they're going to put Colby and Chimaev together, because if Usman loses to Chimaev, they'd like to be able to run another guy up the ladder to see. And Colby's got kind of that number one position, so why have him fight? Just let's try to see if we can get Usman out of there, and if Chimaev wins, we can have Colby fight him next, because that would be a great trash talking lead up to the fight.
Well, look at you're already getting rid of Usman. What is wrong
with you? No, I'm not. I think Usman beats him. Yeah. I think Gilbert's even got a good chance of beating him. If he can get to the ground, I think he's got a good chance of beating him. We'll see.
We'll see. We'll talk about that one.
In the post-fight presser, Dana kind of hint at it. He said, we need to see what's next for him if he fights Dustin, if he goes up in weight. And I thought that was very interesting for him to say Colby potentially going up in weight to potentially. I mean, I guess fight Izzy, right? It's the only fight up there.
They're not going to put him against Izzy. No way.
I mean,
he would get
they're both tall, long, and lanky, as Josh should say.
Yeah,
he'd get knocked the fuck out.
They're not going to put. First off, he'd have to go up and he'd have to win, in my opinion, against a quality middleweight before they're ever going to think about putting him against Izzy. They're not going to take him as a guy that lost twice to Usman and put him against the champion. That ain't going to happen.
But I could see him maybe fighting like Paulo Costa or who's another guy? Why not Sean Strickland?
Why not? Sean Strickland be a good one.
The two of them and their trash talk.
That would be pretty good as far as the talk between those two. That'd be fun.
That'd be a good lead up.
Yeah, I like that one. There's a guy named Luke Rockhold I'd like to see Colby fight.
There you go. There you go. I think Luke would take that fight all day long.
Of course he would.
All right. Let's see. Let's talk about the co-main event. So you've got RDA versus Moicano.
Yep.
And John, I got to tell you, I'm kind of shocked. Like, why is this still a 5-round fight, knowing the guy's coming in on short notice? You guys did us a disservice. Don't get me wrong, the 5th round was the best round. But it was like you did us a disservice, though.
Best round for Moicano.
It was the best round, John, because that was the most exciting round, because the rest of the rounds were boring. The fight itself was, Not that, look, RDA could have potentially got him out of there in the 2nd or the 3rd round in that position, but in that 4th and 5th, for someone who was training for a fight to go 5 rounds already, it was he got tired. He got tired. He punched himself out on Moicano's face. He got tired, and in the 5th round, he didn't have the gas tank to get everyone. And here's the thing: when I was listening to the commentary, they were saying like, "Oh, look, he's just kind of staying on the outside. He's just kind of giving him mercy." No. There's an old story of this lady who found a snake that got hit by a car in the street, right? She takes it home and nurtures it. And then all of a sudden, the snake bites it and kills her. He says, "Why'd you bite me?" "Well, because I'm a snake." Well, when you let a fighter linger around till the 5th round, what do you think he's going to do? If you start just giving him that first minute and a half, he already had 90 seconds or whatever, a minute 20, he had a minute off rest. Then you give him another minute to rest in the cage. He's 2 minutes fresh. He's not a slouch. The guy's going to come after you. He rocked RDA quite a bit in that 5th round. Nothing close to getting him out of there, but he still rocked him though, John. Like he had him moving backwards.
Look, let's be honest. Moicano won that round.
Absolutely.
He hit him with the cleaner, crisper shots overall, and this is after, I'm going to say it right now. Mark Goddard, you did a fantastic job of handling that fight.
Absolutely.
This is what people don't understand what referees do at times, and he did the right thing. He was in control. He was actually telling the doctor at times, "Hey, this is what I'm thinking, this is what I'm going to do. You go ahead and look at him." And it was Mark Goddard's decision at all times whether he was going to let that fight go on. He let it go on at that last bit because of the way Moicano was talking to him and the way he was responding to him. And it was just a masterful job by Mark Goddard in that fight. Not that Moicano didn't take damage. Look, sometimes, I've seen people talking about it saying, "Well, why didn't he just stop the fight?" You're letting, your job is the health and safety of the fighter. No, your job is the health and safety of the fighter. That's true, but it's also to let the fighter be the fighter, because he always does have a chance. And as Moicano proved in the 5th round, he had a chance of coming out there and possibly getting that win. And you can't take that away from him just because he's beat up, just because he's got an eye that doesn't look good. There's reasons to stop the fight, and there's reasons to let it go. Moicano gave Mark the reasons to let that thing go on, and he proved that it was the right decision with that 5th round performance.
RDA gave him more of a chance because remember at the end, the beginning of the 5th round, the ref Goddard goes, "Hey, you have 30 seconds."
That's right.
And RDA didn't do anything for a minute 10.
I've said it too many times to guys. Hey, you got 30. Yeah. You got about 30 seconds to show me you can be in this fight.
And then RDA didn't help the situation because he didn't throw any punches for the first minute, really.
That's right.
So then Moicano was the one pressing the pace. Moicano was the one trying to land the hard shots, and then did land a couple hard shots. And Mark's going, "All right, 30 seconds pass. Okay, but he's kind of winning the round. Oh shit, he rocked.
Let it go.
Oh, I gotta let it go. And next you know, the end of the round was up, and I'm like, holy shit. So I mean, that to me was the most exciting part of that fight. Look, I'm not trying to discredit. You guys need to understand. I'm not trying to discredit RDA. He's a phenomenal fighter.
He's a stud.
But here, I've been in that situation at 37, 38, 36, somewhere in that age, right? Where those longer fights, the longer training sessions, the training for 5 rounds, it gets on you. And when you get into that age, it's hard to go hard for that 4th and 5th round. Look at guys like, one of my closest friends, Frankie Edgar. He's a stud. He's a cardio machine. His whole career, he's been a cardio machine. He is an output fighter, someone that just sets the tempo, sets the pace. But as he has gotten older, it's been harder for him.
Sure.
And you can't tell me that it hasn't. He's an absolute stud, And so when it comes down to those later rounds, and look, you're seeing it a little bit with RDA. And you're going to continue to see it with most of these fighters in that 36 to 38
they're getting older.
range. They will slow down in those later rounds. And look, for him, it's amazing that he's still doing it at such a high level, at the age that he's doing it at. Well, and he's phenomenal.
Yeah, and if you take a look at the list of names that guy has faced, it's incredible. Take a look at, his entire, body of work in the UFC. It's just remarkable. I'm looking at the names right now. Just going down, Paul Felder, Michael Chiesa, Leon Edwards, Kevin Lee, Kamaru Usman, Colby Covington, Robbie Lawler, Neil Magny, Tarek Safadine, Tony Ferguson, Eddie Alvarez, Donald Cerrone, Anthony Pettis, Nate Diaz, Benson Henderson. I mean, come on. The guy has fought a who's who of everybody that has been a stud and top level in the UFC at a certain point or while he faced him.
John, look at this.
Incredible.
Donald Cerrone, Anthony Pettis, Nate Diaz, Benson Henderson, Khabib, Donald Cerrone again. Like, those are guys, just those guys right there. All those guys are probably in the UFC Hall of Fame. Every single one I just mentioned, if Dana likes them. Okay, so you know what I mean? But all those guys I just mentioned, those guys should all be in the Hall of Fame. And he's beaten them, or he's lost, like he lost to Khabib, but the rest of those guys, he's beaten them. That's impressive. And there's guys along the way, up the ladder even further. He's a stud. I'm not trying to take it any way. He's 37 years old, though. And I speak from experience. That 37, 38, it just seemed like there was a huge drop-off in the ability to go into that 3rd round, hard into that 4th round. It's tiresome, man. Well, and he's still doing it at a high level, which is nice.
I think what you see is there's a real drop-off in actual speed during the fight.
Yeah.
How quick he's able to do things. He at times, you could tell that, the training for Fiziev gave him that he wanted to take Fiziev down, and he was training for those moments to change levels, come into him, and get him to the ground. And those all worked for him. A couple of times, it was beautifully done. Just the timing on it was really, really, nice. But then if you look towards that, especially that 5th round, just him shooting his jab out, it was slower, and he was tired. Yeah. And you're going to get tired. But overall, he went out there, did exactly what he was supposed to do. You got to give it to Moicano coming back after, basically 3 weeks off from a fight that, you did well in, and that, you didn't take a whole lot of damage. And so, but there is that up and down, and you get into those flows of you peak with your, conditioning and everything. And when you go off, it drops down, and to get it back up is not an easy thing. And I'm not sure he was able to get it back to where it was, but it was, it was his heart and his ability to stay tough in that fight that people should take away forever, saying, you know what, Renato Moicano, that's a guy that I will watch fight always, because he gives it everything he has.
One last thing on the speed thing that you brought up, because I noticed the same thing. Dave, can you scroll up to Masvidal too? Click on him. He's 36, correct?
No, 37.
37. So him and RDA are the same.
Yeah, 37.
He's 37. Yeah, you're right. So I saw the same thing in him and in RDA.
Absolutely.
Both of them look like you can see the punches coming. You can see them being not labored out, but it was like a little bit more of a load up to get that speed going. And it was noticeable. Yeah. There were several times where RDA like went to throw a punch and Moicano was able to slip out the way. Same thing with Colby, with Masvidal, he was able to just kind of move his head right off the way or duck low before he came in. It just was the speed factor was a huge deal. And that's just from the age. The age you slow down and then it's not going to get better from here. I mean, don't get me wrong. Both of them are still extremely talented. They're still fighting at a really high level.
Yeah.
But in 5-round fights, you're going to see them start to slow down a little bit. And this is just the reality of being a professional athlete. It's hard to continue doing what you're doing at this level, especially these two at the highest level, and continue to get wins. So who knows? Wish them both the best, but both of them are studs. That's just, they've been in the game for a long time and fought the who's who. Let's talk about the fight that, John, I'm gonna come out. I know you can say what you want. I'm gonna eat my words. I'm gonna say I'm gonna take my foot out of my mouth just so I could say good things about him and put it back in there. Because honestly, man, I thought the level of competition that Edson Barbosa had fought would be enough. And the other thing, there was moments where Khabib and some other top fighters had a hard time taking Edson down.
That's right.
And I was like, man, Edson's going to make him work really hard. This kid's if he doesn't get 1 or 2 takedowns early, it's going to start feeling like, shit, I'm never going to get this guy down. I'm going to get eaten up. This kid must be hillbilly strong. He must be farm-bred, corn-fed, all strong, these things. This kid is like almost, I want to say, I know he's not from Nebraska, but
Arkansas,
like that Nebraska, Arkansas, corn-fed type kid. It seemed like every time he touched Edson's leg, he went down.
Yeah.
Every time. And I was like, holy shit, what is going on? And he had some good scrambles in the situations as well. Good control from the top position. Threatened a couple submissions. Didn't do a lot of work in terms of the ground and pound, which I would like to have seen. But look, you got to understand, Edson does slow down. He's been known to slow down, even when he's at 55, as the fight goes on. He throws everything with so much power, whether it's the kicks, whether it's the hands, the boxing. Okay, he does everything with so much power. He has to defend takedowns with everything he has because he knows once he gets taken down, he doesn't have a lot of answers down there on the bottom. He's pretty good at getting up, but the way he gets up is feet on the hips and kicking you away. Well, that takes a ton of energy, especially if you don't get up. So he's got to be very cautious about when he uses it and make sure he capitalizes on the right time. Otherwise, he kicks them back and they jump right back on him and he just wasted a lot of energy. So Thug Nasty, though, overall looked absolutely insane. He looked good. I can't even say enough about this young kid. And I love the little tidbit he did at the end in the Rogan interview, saying he's going to give $45,000 to a charity. And then, from what I read, Dana White said, no, keep your money. So I'm going to donate the $45,000 or whatever it was. That's pretty awesome, man. That's a pretty awesome deal. So overall, John, I'm gonna put the shoe back in my mouth. Okay, my foot back in my mouth. I'm gonna let you close this one out, man. Absolutely great job. Well, everyone, if you took my advice last week, you probably didn't do as well as we would have liked to have you guys to do. But John and I are on task to make sure you guys make a little money this week. But at mybookie.ag, that's all that matters because there's always things to bet on. Right now, we're getting ready for the Final Four. We're getting ready for the NCAA tournament coming up in basketball. We're also getting ready for, of course, more fights for us to talk about. There's always fights for us to talk about because there's no season for that. But at mybookie.ag, use our promo code Wayne, and there's a QR code right there. If you guys have not signed up yet, use that QR code. And when you click that QR code right there, it'll give you a little extra spending cash, courtesy of the Wayne In podcast. Use that QR code right there. Use our promo code Wayne In at mybookie.ag. Now, let's talk about the bets, John. We didn't do as well as we thought we were going to do on the Masvidal and the Colby fight. Masvidal didn't come through. And there was some other fights. The Barbosa fight really shocked me, which we'll get into on our podcast as well, of course. But I wanted to make sure you guys all understand. We know what we told you guys to do, or suggested, I should say, for you guys to do. And hey, it didn't come through, but we also remember, in the past, we've made some good money for you guys. You guys have been very thankful. But at mybookie.ag, use that promo code Wayne In. And John, I got to tell you, we got to come through for him in the next show.
No, we talked about it. I said, look, I want Bryce Mitchell to win this fight. I just don't know that he's going to be able to do that against someone like Edson. I thought he hadn't fought guys. He absolutely had not fought guys at the level that Edson had fought. And it was things like you're saying, guys that Edson gave problems to and getting him down at times. Edson's been in there against Tony. I did Tony Ferguson against Edson, and Khabib. And you look at these and you go, I'm just not sure that, Mitchell's going to be able to handle the speed and be able to stick with the fight when Edson does get up. Because if you take him down, he's going to end up getting up. Boy, completely just nasty, dog, dirty, fucking country boy, strong, Arkansas, mean. I just loved everything that I saw out of him. I mean, his personality is just fantastic. It's infectious. And you want him to do good because he's a good guy. And he's just, he says it like it is. And that's what I love. He will tell you what he thinks. I don't know if you heard his press conference before with the media and they asked him about, political things. And boy, he goes, I don't know anything about that, but this is what I think. And he goes and I go, oh my God, it's hysterical. But it's what he believes and he sticks with it. I love the fact that he is man enough that he says, I'm going to give half of my purse. Good job by Dana, which look, the $45,000 to Dana is nothing. So Bryce Mitchell, it's a ton. It's a ton. And so the fact that he would give that amount of money says a lot about who he is as a person. He's a farmer and he's just trying to plant seeds to make things grow. And look, your career is growing. Continue on, son, because you're fun to watch and, people are going to know, hey, man, you got to hit this dude and put him out because he is going to be in the middle of you the entire fight if you don't.
Dave, can you pull up the rankings for his weight class, 45?
I think he was 11. Barbosa was 10.
Yeah, they were 11 and 10. But look at up there. Let's see. Him and Giga Chikadze would be a good fight.
Yeah.
Him and Josh Emmett would be a tough fight.
Yeah, that would be a
against
tough one.
Calvin Cater.
The wrestling.
Yeah, but I think him and Giga, or even Dan Ige, but him and Giga, I'd like to see him jump a little bit more. So probably like Giga. Arnold Allen's that kind of sleeper that no one's giving any respect to right now.
Arnold Allen's
so that
good
might
everywhere.
be a tough fight. Yeah, he's good everywhere. So that might be a tough fight for him. But I mean, overall, that it would be impressive to see him.
You want to know what would be a fun fight to watch? Since Bryce is good on I'd like to see him and Brian Ortega.
Ooh.
Come on, that would be a fun fight.
Ooh. On the feet, though, it'd be kind of, oof. That's a big jump, John. I think I'd like to get him another fight.
I didn't say it wasn't a big jump, but if you're talking about, look, Ortega can go to the ground with him, no problem. It would be, obviously, anything can happen down there, and Bryce could possibly catch Brian, or Brian could possibly catch Bryce. It would be entertaining. I would like that matchup. I don't know if you'd want to drop that far down.
I'm looking at Giga, Josh Emmett, maybe Calvin Cater, those three guys. I mean, he might want to avoid Arnold Allen for the beginning. If you can jump to a kickboxer or a boxer like Cater or Giga, those are the guys you might want to try to get to.
Yeah, well,
you know what I mean?
You just got to be honest about it. Calvin right now, Calvin's defensive wrestling is good. His offensive wrestling is good. Calvin's well-rounded, and his boxing is sharp. It would be a hard takedown for Bryce to get Calvin, but he could. It's just a matter of how many times could he. So,
yeah, we thought the same thing about Edson. So
exactly.
I'm not believing too much of what I. So wrong. As soon as he touched Edson's leg, he was down. I said that was just too easy. Oh man! All right, back to the card.
Kevin Holland against Oliveira. I enjoyed the fight. I thought this one was fun to watch, and it was fun to watch because they were both going after it. There's a lot of good stuff from both. I thought Oliveira had his moments where, boy, he got rocked and he came right back and blasted Kevin Holland. And you go, God damn. Kevin Holland had to be thinking, what the fuck was that? Because he had him hurt. Next shot he throws landed flush. And I thought, the one I want to bring this up with, I thought Kevin Holland's corner was great when he came back to the corner and they go, hey, all right, we lost that one, and it was very, very, nothing, mean. It was just straight information. This is what we need you to do. I need you to start moving him back. This is what I need you to do. And they were just giving him good, straight, truthful information throughout the whole thing. And he took it upon himself to say, man, I'm not going to let this guy, go anymore with me. I'm going to get rid of him. And he went after him and did it, man. And he's got power in his hands. The guy can swat.
Yeah, Kevin Holland looked good at 170. A little bit of a slow start. I think he had to adjust, and I think that's what he said afterwards.
Speed.
He had to adjust to the speed. The speed's different. The output's a little bit different. They're a little bit more active, and Cowboy's all over the place.
Yeah.
He's not somebody that fights like a normal fighter. He has a different, like, punches come from weird angles. They explode. His body is kind of contorted when he throws. he doesn't fight like he's not like a just traditional like Calvin Kattar style stand up. He has kind of a weird funky style. He kind of herky jerky a little bit too. And they're that wiry strong. He kind of reminds me a little bit of Mike Swick.
He's wiry strong.
Yeah. So and so I was expecting him to possibly try to get a takedown against him, and there was an exchange, I believe, in that scenario where they ended up getting to the back right away towards the end of the first round. Remember, but he had the arm in.
Yeah.
It looked like he was trying to choke him from there.
Kevin's sitting there with two thumbs up. You go, okay, I know why you're doing it. I see where the arm's at, but still, don't.
Yeah. But I've seen guys get finished that way.
All it takes is a switch of the arms too. Also, it's like.
Yeah, the thing is, though, is I've seen guys get finished with the arm in like that on a rear naked because the guy, he's got such long arms, it just pushes the shoulder up into your neck and then he's choking the other side. Yeah. And so it's just, I've seen it happen with guys that have really long arms that can just lock it in and overpower the situation. So I didn't think that Cowboy was going to get it with a couple seconds left.
Yeah.
But overall, to me, that was a very fun fight. Don't take this the wrong way. Maybe you will. I know you won't. But I wasn't impressed a lot with the whole card. I was impressed with individual fights, and this was one of those fights that I really enjoyed. I liked the Bryce Mitchell fight because it was shocking to me as I'm watching it going, what the hell's going on? Yeah. Like, he's making Edson look like he doesn't even belong in the top 10. I was very impressed by that, and I'm never going to underestimate Thug Nasty again. All right, great stuff. But then the same thing with Kevin Holland. I wanted to see this fight get into the third round because I wanted to see if the weight cut was a factor, but it never got there. Cowboy fought the way Cowboy fights, and he was a little bit more composed. I was listening to some of the commentary as well, and then they were saying he was kind of composed, and he was fighting a more technical fight than he normally does. He normally just comes wild, and so this was a big deal for him. Fight on the, I know he's fought on the main card several times. He always brings it, but this was one of those fights that. We were going to see what Kevin Holland was really made of. We know he was made of it at 185, but then when you're not cutting the weight, how much does it affect you? How much was on your mind? The speed of it all with the 170. So there was a lot of questions to be answered. He didn't answer them fully, Kevin Holland, but he definitely put a good taste in my mouth. Yeah. There's a lot of good things that he did in that fight, even when it wasn't going his way. Yeah. A lot of good things. Less talking, more fighting. That's what I wanted to see.
That's the whole point.
That's what I wanted to see. And he did that. That was the number one thing that I wanted to see out of him.
Yeah, I thought that was the fight. I really was looking forward to on the main card. I thought it was going to be an action-packed fight. It was good. They both went after each other, and Holland just ended up landing the good shots, got the win. That's the way it's supposed to be and stuff. But like the shot that Oliveira took, that right hook, that landed solid. So
yeah,
put him on his ass, finished him off. Can't ask for anything more. The fight that I understand why it was on the main card, but I still think nothing against Greg Hardy, but he's just not a complete fighter. It's just not. He's a huge man and he's a good athlete, but he's not a complete fighter. And when you looked at this, we talked about it. Spivac, tough dude, he's got some good wins. He just ate him up, and the takedown was not completely well executed, but it worked. It got him, let's just be honest.
It was good.
Yeah, but the way it was set up.
I'm not a 300-pound guy like that. The way
it was set up, and you're looking, you're going, but it was really what it was is Hardy's not good at stopping that. Yeah. He's not understanding where to put his hips and how to place his weight to make it so that throw's not going to work. But Spivac, great job of getting him down. And then once he got him to the ground, it wasn't even close.
Totally different fight. Yeah,
it wasn't even close. And so Hardy is, he's in that one-dimensional stage. He's a guy that he'll be in the stand-up. He'll throw his hands. He's got good speed, especially for a heavyweight. He's got power, obviously. He's a fucking monster as far as size. He just needs to, it's that whole game is, I just don't see the whole game there. And so I don't know how far he can go.
John, is this project over? Should the project be over for the UFC?
It's kind of like the way I'm looking at it, honestly.
I agree. I think it should be over. 3 losses. Is it 3 in a row?
Yeah.
Yeah, so 3 in a row. I don't see it. I don't see it there. You've matched him up against guys that have some level of talent, that are, kind of in that top 10 area there. He's been TKO'd, TKO'd. It's just not, And then yesterday, he didn't even look like he was out, but apparently he was, because if you watch closely,
his reaction,
he like jumped up, like, oh shit, like what happened? So he was out. To me, he's 30. Yeah, he's 33 years old. He's talented, but he seems like also too, he's gotten bigger.
Oh, he's gotten bigger.
Started fighting. Yeah, he's not trim. He's not lean. Like, he doesn't look like he's getting in physical shape. He doesn't know jack on the ground. He doesn't know anything on the ground. And so his strength and his ability, his mobility seems like it went away. When he came in, he was active, moving around. He looked like I wouldn't say he was built ever like a Cyril Gane, but he had a little bit of that movement and that ability. Now he just stands right in front of you, plots. He's put on too much weight. I think he's just really looking at this as a payday. Go out there, fight, cut it, call it a day. His confidence is obviously way down since losing 3 in a row. I think the experiment needs to be over. I mean, here's the sad part is this. Dave, go back to the card. Please. You take a fight like that, like you started off this conversation, you put that on the main card. Yep. Nothing against Spivac, but I'm sorry, but the Marina Rodriguez fight and the Jan fight, oh my God. You have 2 top-level fighters that are in the top 10, and they're on the undercard. They're on the undercard.
They're in the top 5.
I'm just like, it's a slap in the face because you got heavyweights, but there's no reason for it. You're overpaying the guy. He's lost 3 in a row. I get it in the beginning. It was a project. It was fun to look at, but now it's getting a little embarrassing, to have fights like that on the main card when he should be probably opening the prelims.
Yeah, and you brought up the fight that I was like, that should have been on the main card. That was your opening fight, in my opinion. You could have switched. But
even Turner. But I would have even taken Turner.
See, and that's where we're going to talk about Mr. Turner. But
yeah,
I just look and this is where it's like, okay, I understand why you did it, but it was not worthy of the spot that it got on your card, in my opinion. No. And you got to figure out what you're going to do with Hardy as a fighter, because the sport has passed by those one-dimensional guys. And as you say, he's getting bigger. They said he came in at 291 the week of the fight. Okay, now he's got to make 265. Okay, and he makes it. So when he walked back out there, he was 287 or somewhere in there. But you could see it because he looks, heavy, and it's affecting his performance. So it's not helping him. When you're in the gym and you're that guy that's 290 and nobody else is close, you can move people around and you can get out of things and you can do things because they just can't hold you down. You're too big, too strong. And so, Rashad Evans working with him, Rashad's going to have problems just holding him down when he wants to get up. And then he thinks that he can do it with everyone, and you can't. You can't. It's just, you've got to get back to being the athlete. You've got to get back to being a guy that's, in shape, trim, fast. That's the guy that's going to do better in the fights than the monster. How many times do we have to say hybrid heavyweights are better than massive heavyweights?
Yep. Yeah, we're seeing it. We're seeing it across the board right now. Not
that Spivac is a small guy. No, he's not. He's not that hybrid.
But Cyril Gane, he's a big guy, but he's one of the kind of a newer hybrid
he's right
style.
There.
Yeah. I would say maybe even like a Stipe. Stipe's too when
Stipe
lost to DC. I know Stipe was bigger when he lost to DC, but then when he got better,
when he came back,
when he beat DC, he's lost the weight.
231.
Cain Velasquez, always 230 something. DC, when he was fighting well at heavyweight, was 230 something, closer to 240, but 230 something. Those hybrid heavyweights are definitely, now he's like almost 300. Okay? But all of those things, I do believe it is the hybrid heavyweights. I mean, we see it in Bellator. Ryan Bader having a lot more success at heavyweight. Moldavsky, a smaller guy, having great fights at heavyweight. I love seeing those hybrid heavyweights fight because they're so much more active than the heavier heavyweights, like a Greg Hardy, who get tired after a while. All right, well, hey, let's talk about Jalen Turner. This kid is a stud. We've known that he's a stud. He just needed to believe in himself, and we're seeing that progression of his confidence as well as his technique and his maturity in the cage come together. And oh my gosh, was it on point last night. Oh my gosh. The relaxation, the calmness, just the precision, all of those things. If I'm going to have one little gripe about him, because you know me, I'm always got to be negative Nancy, is that at times when he was landing the clean shots, he let his defense get a little low and he got rocked. After rocking his opponent, Malarkey, he rocked him up, then he came back and got rocked right away himself, or vice versa. They got into an exchange, but overall, he was on point and he looked phenomenal last night.
Yeah, let's go to the one thing that he did that was just fucking beautiful. All right, we want to talk about one of our favorite products. It is Fume. That is F-U-M. This is a product that is out there to help you become a healthier person, to benefit you, to get you off of a smoking or vaping habit that you have acquired that you do not need. This is a product that will give you that same hand-to-mouth element, but it uses natural plants and the benefits of natural essential oils to help you stop the cravings, help you get healthier, and maintain a better life. Fume uses all kinds of great products. It uses 100% Canadian maple to make this fantastic prominent, which is what we call the piece that you use to put the essential oil core into. This is a product that will make you feel good. When you inhale it, you get all of those the senses of the essential oils, and it's all kinds of flavors. It's cherry, it's peppermint, it's lemon bliss, it's black pepper if you like something strong. There's all kinds of different flavors depending upon your taste. It is a product that I believe in. Fume was started to help people stop that nasty habit of smoking. And think about it. You can do this on a plane, on a train, in a car, anywhere around your kids because it has no effect on anybody else. It is something that is good for not only you, it's good for your family. So I want you to go to F-U-M, Fume. You're going to go to www.breathefume, F-U-M, no E, /weighing in, and use the weighing in code to get 10% off of any product that Fume makes. This is for you. This is for your family. If you know somebody that has a nasty habit of smoking or vaping, get them to try the Fume Prominent. It will help start them in a better direction, a healthier direction, and it will make their life better. Please go to Fume, breathe Fume, and you can become a healthier person today. He finished every time there was an engagement. He was the guy finishing the engagement. If he threw a 2-punch combination, Malarkey came back with a counter, he was finishing it off with another 2 to 3 punch combination, always being the guy that was leaving as the attacker in the engagement and then bringing it back. Look, at 6'3", at that weight class, with the length that he has, look, everyone knows where you want to put Jalen, and that's put him on his back and make him work off of his back. He's been trying to get better at the ground game. He obviously has shown that he has gotten better. He's, his win, I think his last win was a rear naked choke that he got. He's just looking good, and he's got the right attitude. He is fun to watch because he's aggressive, and when you see a guy always being the guy finishing those encounters, that I look at that and go, God damn, that's a fighter. That's a guy knowing, hey, I am not going to let you get the best of this. I am always going to show them I'm the guy leading this dance. I'm the guy in control. I'm the guy making these exchanges happen, and I'm the guy finishing them. And that's what he did. And he did it against a tough dude. Look at Malarkey. David Malarkey's tough. There's no doubt about it. The guy can fight, and he comes and he's got power in his hands. He'll stand in the pocket. He thought he was going to, be able to bully Turner, and it just didn't happen. And the accuracy, and again, all of those shots that he was not expecting to come after he threw his counters, those were just eating Malarkey up. And eventually that one caught him when he went down. He did not let him get back up. That was a great finish and a phenomenal performance by Turner.
Yeah, his last 2 fights have been finished by rear naked chokes. But then on top of that, though, like you said, adding up to the combinations to finish the exchanges. That's the last thing the judges remember.
Oh, yeah.
And so when that's the last thing they remember, that's like, okay, tick. I brought a little stripe down. I go, hey, I remember him winning this exchange. Okay, he won this exchange. He won this exchange. And it starts adding up as the round goes on.
Yep.
All of those things. Finishing the combination is one of the most difficult things to do because you just got hit.
Yep.
So now you've got to return fire to leave it in the judge's hands, and also to let that fighter know that no, I'm gonna still be here after you hit me. If you back away, it's like that gives them an opportunity to go ahead and push forward. I also think that Malarkey, he's a tall, big guy for lightweight.
Yeah.
He's not used to fighting another guy who's 6'3" at lightweight also at 155. So when you have the two of them, like Malarkey coming in going, hey, I'm used to being taller and longer than majority of these lightweights, and now you're fighting someone who can touch me from a distance. And I always go back to this, is if you go back and you watch John Jones versus Gus, John had never fought someone who could reach as long as him and had the same type of like boxing or kicks and was able to mix it up as well as Gus was able to. And he had problems with him because, oh shit, you can hit me and I can't just put my hand on your forehead and big brother you.
Exactly.
And that's kind of what I felt like with Malarkey yesterday with Turner. Turner was able just to touch him at range. And he's like, hey, I'm getting hit right now. I'm not used to being hit from this position. I'm not used to just a jab or a right hand or a kick or a push kick, touching me from so far. Yeah. And now I can't reach you. Those are things you have to learn to deal with in the cage. Not realizing during training, it's not going to be that big of a deal. Oh, no, it's a big deal.
It's a big deal, yeah.
It's a big deal. That extra 2 or 3 or 5, I think it was 5 inches. I think it was, Jalen has 81 inch, and I think it was Malarkey had 76. So
77,
my math, John, take it away.
There you go.
All right. So, but overall, like John, you and I were talking, and we were saying, just very impressive, composed, precise with his striking. If I had, like I said, the one little gripe, he's got to get back to his defense right away. That was the only thing. He's got to become back to his defense a little bit. He seemed like he was letting it linger out there a little bit too long because he is long. So it's sometimes hard to bring it right back. But he got hit with some clean shots a little bit in that first round. Came out, though, guns blazing in the second. Great performance, man. Overall, great fight.
Yeah.
Good fight.
Really good fight. And I want to say, I thought that the prelims really set this show. It was the prelims that, outstanding. The main card, it was. But prelims, you can't take anything away because the fight before that. Marina Rodriguez against Xiaonan.
Yeah.
Ungodly fight. Both of them were just going at it. There was some great exchanges. Frickin' Jan's hand speed at times is really impressive. Really impressive. The combination she's throwing and the accuracy of it and what she was able to do. I thought it was a super close fight. I thought it was pretty simple that, who won the first and third round. The second round, razor thin. Yeah. And if either of them had won the fight, I wouldn't have complained. It was a robbery. No. Super close. This, little bits of differences and stuff. So I thought that I thought Marina in the second round, I thought she stole the round at the end when she had a couple of those clinch moments and she hit her with some knees and stuff. I think that's, it was in the judge's mind. They saw that at the end. That kind of took it maybe. But very close fight. Just when you watch good technique by both ladies in this, just fun to watch.
Yeah, I thought the speed of Jan, and especially in the first round, was very evident. Like her combinations. She was finishing, like you were saying that Jalen was doing. She was finishing the combinations. She was landing the cleaner, harder shots. Marina just coming forward, be able to just keep going. Like she's got a chin on her.
Ooh.
And so she was taking some big shots. I had Jan winning the fight, though. But like I said, when you talk about when there's a robbery, no. I had Jan winning the second round, so I had her winning 1 and 2, and then obviously she lost the third.
Yeah.
But I thought it was a great fight. I'm not going to split hairs and sit here and tell you like I wasn't mad either way.
No.
I think that stylistically, Marina, she matches up well with a lot of those top-level girls in that top 2 or 3 position. The one that's going to really give them all a hard time is going to be Carla Esparza because of the wrestling. But if you can stuff the takedowns and keep it on the feet, then you've got a good chance against Carla Esparza. The issue is, though, is not majority of them can't do that. That's the problem.
Yeah,
You know, we saw that with Jan when Carla Esparza beat Jan. She just kept taking her down, and Jan was able to take down Marina a couple times.
Oh yeah.
And so when you're looking at him going, not a good place for, like, Marina's going to probably end up having to fight Carla after Carla gets this title shot, and you're going to end up in a position where who's next going to be? Are they going to try to jump after Carla? If Carla wins, she'll end up having to fight her. If she loses, they're going to have her jump her, so she doesn't have to fight her, because you want to make sure you always keep a number one contender ready to go.
Yep.
But overall, I mean, who do you see next? I mean, like, you see Jan and Weili Zhang. Like, I mean, like, two people that are coming off losses, and you have them fight. I think Weili's coming off a loss, right? Yeah, she's coming off a loss.
Off a loss to Rose.
So, so then, I mean, like, you have them fight. It would make for a fun fight. I mean, I was very impressed with Jan, just to be honest, man. I was more impressed with her than I was Marina. Marina finished strong in the third, but I was more impressed with Jan, and just her punching, her combinations, the way she mixed in when she did get in the clinch. She did take some knees, but then she was able to get some takedowns. I was pretty impressed with that. Overall, though, I mean, that fight to me stole the show. I think there wasn't a better fight on the card that night.
It was a good one. It was, absolutely one of those ones you look at and you go, I'd watch that all night long and stuff. We could talk about.
I mean, if I was to say there was a better fight, I would say performance-wise, it goes to Jalen Turner. Performance-wise.
Yeah.
But I think fight, though, from both of them being gritty and tough, the fight itself was the best fight of the night. I mean,
I was gonna, if you're gonna take a look at a performance, man, I'd have to drop down past the Kennedy Shinjaku. I can't even say his name. And Nick.
I'm okay with you skipping that fight.
Thank you, because it was just not a good fight. But the one before it,
yeah.
You've always liked Agapova and the way she fights, and Marina Moroz.
Yep.
Man, Moroz just went out there and put it on her. What a performance by her.
Yeah.
She went out and dominated her, just taking her down, taking her back, putting a good ground and pound on her, and then finishing the fight. I mean, you can't ask for more. The arm triangle was at a certain point you look and you go, oh, that's tight now, and it just put her away. It's just a great performance.
I don't want to know what happened, John. What happened? Why did one leave? Like people say Agapova, but whatever. Agapova. Yeah. Why did she leave? Did she leave? She left ATT. They used to be training partners. They obviously don't like each other. Apparently, they had some beef while they were at the gym. It's strange to me. I understand the Colby thing. It got to another level. It's like nobody in the gym liked Colby. Joanna, Dustin, I mean, nobody. George, nobody liked Colby. Friend. So I was like, okay, look, we got to just get rid of him. It's just a cancer in our gym. I've never heard anything about this on Agapova or Agapova. I've never heard of why she left. I was very impressed with her when she exploded onto the scene. And then she had a loss, then she came back, she had a win, and she's been up and down. She's kind of doesn't seem like she can find herself. I'm a big fan of Marina as well. I think she's very impressive. She is someone who's got good wrestling. She's got pretty good. She's really tall for the weight. Like, for that weight, I'm surprised she's able to make that weight, and I'm surprised that she's able to have, she's slender. She gets slender for her fights. When you see her in training, when she posts pictures for her training, not that she's big, but I'm saying that, she puts on some size, and then when she slims down, she's got muscles on traps. She's got back muscle. I was watching her get those takedowns. I'm like, damn, her back is just shredded. But she looked very good. Good top control. Finally, when she was able to get the takedowns, good top control, putting the pressure on her. She almost got her, I think, in the first with the submission. They had some good exchanges. Overall, just a dominating performance from that top. So good stuff from Moroz.
And did it with, let's be honest. She's Ukrainian. Her family is back in Ukraine. That kind of, thing going on in your mind as you're coming up on the fight, being in that position, really, really put on a hell of a performance under a stressful situation. So just outstanding overall. All right, let's go to your man, Umar Nurmagomedov. Look, kid's good. He's just good. And it's funny because of his last name, everyone thinks that he's going to fight like Khabib. He's not. This kid is more of a stand-up. more of a Taekwondo style as far as really he's got some great kicks and stuff. His hands are getting better. His wrestling is good. You know, he's got a good submission game. He's a well-rounded fighter, and he is not like, you know, Khabib. Really, he's like him in the fact that neither one of them have ever lost. But other than that, he doesn't fight like Khabib.
No. Him and his brother both. Like Usman's in Bellator, and the two of them, they have that Taekwondo style background. They love to kick, they love the striking, they love to keep the distance. There's a lot of movement involved with them, which is good, because if you ever need to backpedal and circle and stay away, you know, you get in trouble. They have that, and they know how to use their side kick to keep the distance, and they go right from the side kick to the long jab or the long straight left, whatever it is. They're both extremely talented. They both have good cardio. You know, but with Umar, he just seems like he's wrapped his head around like what he needs to do to be successful. He's been training at AK since he was, I want to say, 19. He came in, and I think he's probably one of the guys I've rolled with the most outside of Khabib and Islam. I've rolled with him the most. He's a young kid that just all he wanted was, he always just called me grandpa or old man.
Oh,
you
good.
Old man.
Good.
Like,
I'm glad.
I was okay
I'm
with
glad
that.
he understood that.
Yeah. But to them, anything over 29 was old man. They were calling Khabib grandpa or old man. Yeah, he like father now because he's 30. You know, so but it's because they want to just pick your brain. They know you have so much knowledge. And he always asked me, you know, broken English. His English got a lot better though now since then. But back then, very little English, but he was always like, Khabib, come help translate. He always wanted to know, what do I do here? What do I do there? He's somebody that has wrapped his head around that he's not afraid to ask for advice. And even with the English barrier, the speaking barrier, he just it didn't bother him. He just wanted to know, how do I do this? How do I do that? You know, you did this to me. How do I fix that so you don't do that to me anymore? And he has fully encompassed what you're looking for in a fighter. Now the level of competition is gonna get a lot harder.
Yep.
But I think he's only 24. Like, I think he might even be younger than that, but I think he's 24. Just slow play it, man. Like, he is one of. He's 26.
26, dude. You're way
He's
off.
19,
He's almost an old man.
He is almost an old man. But at 26, I think you want to still slow play him until you hit about 29. So I think he's got about 2 more years of getting, like, remember, he's only his second fight in the UFC.
Yeah.
Give him some time. He's second or third? Second, yeah. So give him some time. You know, let him really get the ring experience, the cage experience, I should say, against some gradually slow play him against some higher level competition. If you pull up the weight class at 135, can you pull that up for me? He's pretty strong. He's very active. He's not a slow fighter. He fights from the feet really well. He will wrestle when he needs to, but he wrestles, you know, to do some ground and pound, tries to get to the back and control that position. If he's not feeling comfortable there, he backs out and re-enters and does it again. But if I pull up 135, somewhere in there, if you're looking to somebody for him to fight, there's a lot of tough fights in there right now that you want to probably try to avoid, to be honest. I mean, if I go there, like, Ricky Simone might be a good fight. That's a tough fight for him. That's a tough fight for him.
That's a guy that's going to be in his face trying to take him down and put him on his back. So,
but Ricky is tough, but Ricky also makes a lot of mistakes. Ricky will come forward, he'll put himself in jeopardy, you know, and trying to land the big shots to try to get in on the wrestling. And I think wrestling-wise, I think Umar could actually hang with him a little bit in terms of maybe out scramble him, out wrestle him. Strength-wise, it might be equal. I know that everyone's like, oh, well, Ricky's strong. Yeah, Umar's pretty strong for such a slender type build, and he is not going to weigh the same as when he walks in that cage. You know, when I start getting into those guys, I mean, obviously, I don't think it would ever happen, but like a Dominic Cruz would be perfect for him. The style of stand-up that he possesses, the speed, the kicks, all those things, being able to wrestle, probably out-wrestle Dom, you know, at this stage in Dom's career. And submission-wise, I would probably lean more towards Umar as well. So, I mean, that's one of those fights. Oh. I don't think you really want to jump him any more than those type of fights. You probably want to stay away from someone like Chito right now, who's on a rise. Pedro's got power. You know, he could probably give Pedro a good go, but, you know, it just like you want to avoid probably the guys with a lot of big power for right now until he gets used to a couple big fights in there.
He beat a good guy. Brian Kelleher's a dog.
Yeah.
He comes to fight. He's just a tough dude. he beat a good fighter, and it was expected that he was the favorite in the fight. But you're taking a look. 26 is still young. You're saying, slow roll it, take your time, get about 5 to 6 more fights in there, then start talking about going after those top guys. So.
Yeah. Well, like I look at him like Song Yadong, possesses a lot of power.
Yep.
Very active. He's a dog. He can take
Good
shots.
wrestler.
He's hard to take down. He's a good wrestler. Like you're dealing with some, like you get him into that. I'm like, okay, look, he's ready for that, but what's the rush?
Yeah.
Like, what's the rush? And then I get in like, I wouldn't want him to fight a Sun Tzu. Sun Tzu's got power.
That's not
thick,
a bad fight for him
down.
Based upon speed now. Sun Tzu is slowed down.
Yeah, he has. But I mean, the experience of it all. That's a lot of experience. He's got a ton of experience. Yeah. You get into Ricky Simone, he's got experience as well. But I mean, they're still kind of both. I think that's
still haven't brought up
fight.
the name I'm looking at. You haven't brought up Frankie.
Which one? No, I'm not gonna. I'm not gonna. I knew you. I figured you would try to call me out.
I'm going to sidestep that. John, shut the hell up.
Yeah. I got too much love for Frank, man.
All right, let's talk about another guy that you have trained with and well. We've got Tim Elliott took on Tiger.
Mm-hmm.
Oliveira. Man, let's be honest. I've had these kind of fights before where you watch and you see a guy like Tim Elliott, who is just a dirty, nasty, grinding fighter, goes out there and he will ride the edge of being legal to ill, things he'll do. And he'll cheat.
He went over the edge.
Oh, he'll cheat at times. He'll cheat at times. Yeah. And that's just the way it is. And it definitely got to Tiger. He let it get in his head, and you can't do that. I had Michael Bisping fighting Chael Sonnen one time, and it was Chael rides that edge. Chael will cheat. Shocking. I know you find that hard to believe that Chael would actually cheat.
Tap? No, I didn't tap.
Yeah, but at a certain point, Bisping is looking at me going, that's illegal. I go, no, it's not. He can do that. No, it's not. He can do that. But Michael was in that position of he felt like he was being bullied and Chael was using his head in an illegal fashion. It's like, no, he can do that. And I thought this was just as soon as this fight was going on and I saw what Tiger was doing as far as looking over, I go, nope, that's not a good way of being in this fight. It's not going to do you well. Your head is your mind's starting to go in different directions and not the direction that's going to get you the win. And I thought Tim Elliott just performed very well. Nasty junkyard dog, Tim Elliott. I love him.
I'm just going to be honest. I think they should have taken a point away from Tim Elliott for the glove. He did it on purpose. He did it for the long. He did it for a duration of time. To land shots. He did it for long enough. No, 2 shots.
1 shot.
That's long. What happens if one of those shots would have rocked him?
But it didn't.
See, this is why you missed my headbutt.
No.
This is why.
But it did.
Oh, it didn't look that hard. It was still a headbutt.
Let me ask you a question. Did you see him with that? Did you see him do it when it happened? Did you see?
Yes, I did.
You saw it when it happened.
Yeah, because he was trying to pull his arm away.
Yeah,
and
as soon as his arm, but you didn't see when he grabbed hold of it because it's hard to see.
I understand.
It's very hard to see.
But John,
Tim Kennedy did that against Yoel Romero. No one remembers that. It was like, but he did that. And that's when he went after Yoel and hurt him because he actually grabbed inside the glove. It happens.
Yeah, John, but that was he purposely did it.
Of course he did.
Grabbed fingers inside the glove.
Of course he did.
Grabbed and pulled and then landed shots.
Hold on, how many times?
That should be an automatic 1 point.
How many times have you said, if you ain't cheating, you ain't trying?
Yeah, I get the not cheating, not trying thing. I do. I understand that. I do. But I guess for me, it's like if I got to grab the fence real quick and let go, like, basically to not get taken down and let go, but you still get taken down. You're still trying to cheat, but then that keeps you from being slammed on your head. That keeps you from being put on your back versus like put to your butt. Those are the little things that I look at. I'm like, okay, I'll let it get away.
So a little glove grab is just way over the edge.
A little glove grab and glove grab. And then 2 shots landed. That's different. That to me is like, what happens if one of those shots rocks the person?
What happens if it does?
And look, and I'm not saying I would have thought this way, whether because I know Tiger or not. Like, I would have thought this way regardless, because it was a purpose. He grabbed it on purpose and then pulled it and held it as he threw his shots. That to me is too long.
No, that's intelligence.
I get it is. I get what you're saying. But that's like grabbing the fence and stopping a takedown.
Yeah, it is.
It really is. Because now you can't even defend that side, because the side he was grabbing with was the side that he was able to land shots on. So you can't even lift your hand up to block. That's an intentional grab that deserves points taken. Just my personal opinion.
If you can see it. I'm just being honest.
Yeah.
It's not easy to see.
No, I don't disagree with that. Everything that's the thing. Everything happens it's so fast.
That's right.
You know, and then you know, as refs, you guys are trying to keep track of the footwork, the movement, also making sure you're not in the way. Like, there's a lot of things that are going on, and then now you're trying to watch that. You're trying to see if they got hurt, they got rocked with those shots. I get it. I understand. But I agree with you. Tiger just started looking at the ref. He started looking at his corner and yelling at them. That means that he's already in your mind.
Yep.
All the things that he's doing is bothering you. You cannot allow that stuff to happen. And if you are going to start doing that stuff, do it when you're in the controlling position. Don't do it when you're like, when you're pressed against the fence,
or you're at a
head under your
disadvantage.
chin.
That's right.
Yeah, you're at a disadvantage. Don't start looking at the ref, because that's when the guy's going to look to capitalize and strike on you. He could tell it was frustrating him. He had some good parts, but you can't allow people to get under your skin. That's just the bottom line.
No, I think mentally he had a lapse in that first going into the second round, and then finally got himself composed. And when he got himself composed, he fought a better fight. You know?
Yeah.
But he had to get composed, and it was just a little bit too late by the time he was able to get that composure down. But again, young fighter, and I think this is when we talk about veteran fighters and we talk about experience. That's what Tim Elliott is.
Yeah,
he's been through all these things, and he's going to pull those tricks. You gotta be.
Yeah, no, I agree.
Gotta be tough.
I learned my lesson when I fought Clay Guida. Just the frustration in that fight, feeling like he was grease. Also, then he started putting his fingers in my cut, trying to open it. Those type of things really, really got to me. But then after that fight, I realized when I went back and watched it, I'm like, you were bothered by the dumbest things.
Yep.
Like, you can't allow those things to happen, because that ultimately it basically predicted the outcome of the fight.
Yeah.
You allowed him to get under your skin, make you even more pissed off, and you started doing stupid stuff to try to hurt him, to try to, you just put yourself out of position. And so in this situation, I felt like it was the same thing. He was just getting frustrated because of the little things that Tim Elliott was doing.
Yeah.
Which was a good game plan. I think he's going to learn a lot from this, and he's going to make some adjustment as his career goes on, and he's going to have to, because you can't allow that to happen at the highest level.
No, like you said, this is a good experience. I know he doesn't want the loss. That's never good. He's going to learn from this. He's going to learn how to handle it, and you're going to run into these guys. You're going to run into the guys like Tim Elliott's, man. You look at, they're dog dirty tough, and they'll push the edge, and that's how they get the win. That's what he was there for. But
if you saw that though, John, that grab and the two strikes, you wouldn't have taken a point.
If I'd seen it, there's a possibility I'm going to take the point. Yeah,
possibly.
Yeah, because
I need more than a possibly.
Hold on, okay. Possibly.
Yes or no? Yes or no, John?
There is no yes or no's, because here's exactly what you're saying. Do the punches land, and do they have an effect on the fighter? If they have an effect on the fighter, I have to try to now level it back out to as even as I can get. If it has no effect on the fighter, no, it'll probably be a warning, and hey, knock that shit off. But
I just got hit twice in the head. Of course it had an effect, John.
No, first off, it had no effect on you. You have to have a brain for it to affect you.
Yeah, that's true. That's true as well. Something rattled in there.
That's it.
I didn't watch I missed the first two fights, so I don't know if you were able to watch.
I'll go
those.
over it real quick. Devontae Smith, man, he's a good fighter. He's tough. He's fast, and he's got some really good tools. I thought Klein came out really. He's strong, physically strong, but really for a guy taking the fight, basically, quick last minute, really was in shape, because this fight went with a high pace. Klein got a little bit tired near the end of it. You could see it, and Devontae was really coming on. but Klein was good enough in the first and the second rounds to really, take away what Smith was trying to do, put good shots on him, use his wrestling, man. He took him down at times that you go, that was a beautiful takedown at the right time, and just fought a smart fight against a very athletic, skilled, and a good fighter. Devontae Smith's a good fighter. He's going to get better. I just don't know if, as he gets losses, if they're going to keep him for a while or let him go and try to get a couple wins somewhere else. But Klein looked good. It was a good win. And then Dustin Jacoby, I told you, I was interested in his fight with Mikhail. Good fight. It was 29-28, 2 rounds to 1. Dustin is just an impressive guy because, Dustin used to fight, he fought in Bellator, he fought in Strikeforce, fought in Glory as a kickboxer. He fights everywhere. He's now 5-0-1 in the UFC. He's got the one draw against Kutalaba, but he's just been putting on good performances, and he's just gotten way better as far as being able to keep himself from being taken down, because that was always his problem, is guys would take him off his feet. But he's fighting smart. He doesn't try to overextend. He doesn't try to knock people's blocks off. He just touches people now and everything. Dustin Jacoby, and he's got a great nickname, the Hanyak. Come on, man. That's anybody that can call him. He's the Hanyak.
What the hell is that? What's a Hanyak?
You figure it out, dude.
It's
a hammock? It's part of his heritage.
Oh, okay.
Part of his heritage. But
I was thinking hammock, like a banana hammock.
No, come on, man.
A Hanyak.
Hanyak. But
what you got here? Let me see what you got, Dave.
He really is. Go ahead. It's Hungarian. That's right.
What is it?
It's from Hungary. Hungary.
Oh, it's vomit.
It means vomit?
Yeah. The puke. The Hanyak.
The puke. Oh, really? Oh, man. That's great.
He's really been fighting well, man. Congratulations to you. You've just been really impressive in the, this part of his career. So I would like to see them get him off of, the opening preliminary fight. I'd like to see him get moved up because he deserves it. He's been fighting really well.
Yeah, if he went to a draw with who'd you say, Kutalaba? What's his name?
Yeah,
Kutalaba. Yeah, he's tough. Like the two of them together, if that was a draw, I don't know what happened in the fight.
What happened was Kutalaba won 2 rounds, put him on his back, beat him up on the ground, did what Kutalaba does, and then got tired, and Dustin was still there and put it on him. So it got a 10-8 round.
Wow, he must have put it on him.
Oh, he put it on him.
Quite bad. All right, well, hey, that's going to wrap up our UFC talk and over the fight card. And overall, it was a good weekend. Like I said, there was some good stand-up
really
fights.
Good preliminary fights.
Yeah, the Marina Rodriguez, and I didn't know how to pronounce her first name, but her last name is Jan. Absolute great fight. And then, obviously, Jalen Turner looked phenomenal. And then, some good fights, man. Overall, good night. Let's go ahead and get into some news. What you got there, Dave?
All right, we got a handful of items. We're going to start with some fallout from UFC 272. The first one being Moicano's post-fight IG post. So I found this interesting because it was quite a good post. However, I'm not confident that he posted it because, hours removed from that brawl. He posted IG, "No excuses. Thanks, Rafael dos Anjos and UFC for this opportunity. This defeat doesn't define me. I'm not a loser because I lost. I'm not a winner when I win. I'm victorious in life. The way I handle myself with my family and my team. Thanks, God. This is a great time to be alive. Never forget, I'm always chasing the big money. Porra."
Porra.
What is it?
That's for Brazilian for, let's get it on. Let's fight.
He seemed like a really good guy. I've never met him personally. I've seen him from across the room. He's pretty big for the weight class. He's like tall. I don't know. I don't think he hasn't. Definitely doesn't have anything to be ashamed of.
Oh my God, no.
What he did, what he did was impressive.
Bought his ass off.
I think the UFC didn't do him any favors making it a 5-round fight. I was like, why would you do that? Just because RDA trained for 5 rounds? Okay, then that means he's ready to go 3 then. I just didn't see why. I didn't understand why.
There was, when you take a look at it, And we say this all the time, the 5 rounds, those 2 extra rounds are a lot. You're talking about possibly, more than half of a fight. And it takes something off of the fighter's career. It can. Looking at that picture right there, those 5 rounds, those extra 2 rounds, possibly took something off of his career. And so you have to be, judicious when you're going to have those 5-round fights. There was no reason to have that as a 5-round fight. It was okay when it was. Event. What's that?
For a co-main event.
I know.
Like, it wasn't even a main event.
It wasn't the main event. Exactly. And not a championship fight. There's no reason. No reason at all.
It wasn't even for a championship title run. It wasn't like it was. It didn't make any sense to put him in that situation. Now, I know he agreed to it. We've said this before. Yeah. You agree to it. You take full responsibility. Once you say yes, that you're going to fight that.
Yeah.
But, I mean, if I'm in negotiations with them and I'm going like, hey, let's make it 3. I just fought 3 weeks ago. I know I'm in shape. I'm good. But, it just didn't make any sense to me. You're not doing the guy any favors. He's a dog. He came out great in the 5th round. It just was, there was no title implications. Not like he's going to jump. Like, RDA is not fighting for the title after beating Moicano. No. That's not going to happen.
Nope.
And so it didn't make any sense to do that. And now I would have understood if it was Islam, and I'm not advocating. I'm not going to sit up here and advocate Islam should have taken the fight. I don't know what happened. And they're saying he turned it down. Okay, he turned it down. Whatever. But he should have taken the fight.
Here's the problem with that. And Dana's just giving the truth. He's just giving the facts, which the truth. That's pretty good. But he's saying, Islam turned that fight down. But he's not saying why. Okay? And there's more than one reason why he's not turning the fight down because he doesn't want to fight RDA. That's not why he's turning the fight down. There's other elements that he's going, no, I can't agree to that. Mm-hmm. And they don't say those elements. They just say, no, he turned the fight down. There's nothing to talk about.
After that performance, though, last night, and like I said, I have a lot of respect for RDA and his career and who he's fought and what he's done and what he's accomplished. But after seeing that, there are different places in their career. From Islam to him, I don't think RDA gets out of the 2nd round. I mean,
he's tough. He may go to the 3rd, but yeah,
he may go to the 3rd, but I don't think so. Yeah. I think he subs him. I think he controls him. And when people think Khabib was strong, Islam is stronger. That just like you see it in some of the like with the Bobby Green. Oh, why didn't he just turn over? Why didn't he just get to his knees? Let me just tell you,
because you can't.
That guy is extremely strong. Like Khabib is strong, but Khabib's like got the thick hips and heavy hips. Like he's got rides pressure. Islam just latches onto you, and you ain't going nowhere. I mean, I've seen him do it with 85-pounders, just like call out submissions and then get it on guys that are 85. I'm like, he's just controlling them. Anyways, but back to Moicano. Moicano, a lot of respect, brother. I hope you get another big time fight, in a different situation where you have a full camp. But I'm looking forward. I will definitely continue to watch you because of what you did. Yep. Great job.
Yep.
Absolutely great job.
All right. I know you guys touched on it already. Do you have any other thoughts, expanded thoughts on this Bryce Mitchell situation with the donation of $45,000 to helping children in Arkansas with medical conditions?
No, I think great job, buddy. I think the fact is that you spoke up and you get to keep your purse.
You made something happen.
And then you made something happen. The UFC or Dana White or whoever is going to do it is going to donate the money, and that's how shit gets done. A closed mouth doesn't get fed kind of situation. You spoke up, and the UFC or Dana White, whichever one, is going to step up and do that. I'm very impressed. Everything about you, my man, Thug Nasty is very impressive. Everything about you. Your fighting style, your ability to just be you on a huge stage, the pressure you put on them to make camo shorts, all of those things. I mean, look, you got to understand. It's hard to get the UFC to do shit for the guys, especially when it comes to, like these type of things. Oh, I want to have camo shorts. You know what? We'll worry about that when you get a little bit bigger name. Like, you know what I mean? Like those are issues that sometimes you have a problem with. With him, like they see the potential in him. They like the personality, the videos, the rap videos, whatever it is, the commercials, all these things he's doing. It's just bringing more attention. He's got a personality that they are not having to used to deal with. Like you get those personalities from from these guys that live in these big cities, or you got guys like, with Connor from Dublin, from Ireland, with an accent it comes across really well. Other guys, like Colby from Miami area, but just has that that dog in him, kind of like the way he talks, and Masvidal, same thing. Other guys, Tito Ortiz when he was there with them, from the West Coast. You've got certain fighters that have those type of personalities. This guy is a personality that they've never had to really. This is something new to them. Like what we're really promoting a farm boy.
Well, it's a Matt Hughes type of thing, just different. You're right, it's different.
Oh, Matt Hughes. Okay, yes, exactly. Yeah. You are right. Sorry, you're right. Exactly like Matt Hughes. But it is different. Matt Hughes was never going to rap. No. Matt Hughes was never going to be in a commercial like that. Yeah. Matt Hughes was someone that just kind of stayed in his lane when it came to that type of stuff.
That's it.
It's like, no. You're never going to catch me out there doing that shit. But he was definitely the same way. Farm raised. I bet you was that. I bet you Thug Nasty's country boy strong like that.
Oh, yeah?
Country boy strong like that. I'm surprised he hasn't reached out to Matt and been like, hey, can I use your song? Oh, man. But good stuff, buddy. Good stuff.
All right. Next thing from last night, Khabib was announced as being next inductee into Hall of Fame.
I mean, no brainer. It's as simple as it gets, man. I'm really. It's nice to see the UFC do it. The man deserves it. What more do you say? I mean, it was nice that they brought it out there and put it out for everyone to see and stuff. It's absolutely where he belongs.
First ballot Hall of Famer.
Yeah.
I mean, that's really what it comes down to. I mean, he's been retired for what? Maybe a year? Has it been a year yet?
Oh, it's been a year.
Yeah, so it's been a year, and he's been retired for a year, and he's just doing his thing. I mean, yeah. Now it's coaching. Are we going to see him in there in the Hall of Fame for coaching also?
No.
I mean, he's got a pretty good crew of guys that he's working with, and you never know what they're going to do. I'm surprised have they put any other coaches in there yet?
No. That's why I said no.
Oh, you don't think they're going to do coaches?
I would doubt it because, the coaches, when you look at it, they go to all different promotions and do things and stuff. And I think they kind of like to keep you are just part of us. So if you're someone that goes and does things outside of them, I don't think that they look at it the same.
Interesting. That's weird.
Could be wrong, but
I've heard so many times they offered Frank Shamrock in.
They did.
They told him to beat it.
Nope, they did.
I wonder if they're going to do that for everyone.
What do you mean for everyone?
Like there's certain fighters that have left that didn't leave on good notes. I wonder if they're going to end up reaching out to them and being like, "Hey."
Like who? Who should it be?
Mainly Frank's just off the top of my head.
Well,
but I have to spend some time.
Let's be honest. Frank belongs. If you're going to talking about the history of the UFC, Frank Shamrock belongs there. But he told them, "I don't want it," and so hey, that's I look at it like that's his right to say I don't want it, and it's their right to say, hey, we offered it to you. We're moving on.
We're moving on.
Yep. So,
got it.
The fact that they offered it to him, it says everything I need to know.
Yeah, I guess that's true. Yeah, that's true. Which I never thought they would, to be honest.
I didn't think they would either. So. Okay. It was the right thing to do.
They're maturing as they get older.
It was the right thing to do. Good job.
Frank hasn't matured, though.
No.
Oh, Frank, I love it. All right, next.
All right, let's wrap up on this one. We got a date for Gaethje and Oliveira. May 7th. It's going to go down for the World Lightweight Championship. Let's get your early thoughts and predictions.
All right, I don't know if you understand this because I am computer illiterate, but I know that going browsing online using that incognito mode does not work. It does not protect your privacy. It does not protect anyone from stealing your information or just gathering what private data you have by hackers, advertisers, your ISP, and other prying eyes. Now, look, that's why I use IPVanish VPN to make it easy to stay true and private and secure while I'm on the internet. Every time I'm looking up fights, all those things, you get all of this bad information coming your way. Well, I'm telling you right now, IPVanish VPN will take care of these problems for you. Even if your physical location is hidden, they can still find you. So you need to have something to protect yourself, and IPVPN Vanish, that is the one that I use to keep me safe while I am online.
And you need to stay safe because IP Vanish, you can also use it on all sorts of your tablets, your phones, also your Fire Stick. Now, I have a Fire Stick in my car, so I also don't want to be tracked wherever I drive. So that's another thing, as well as your Fire Sticks and your Apple TVs all at home. Those are all things that you can use your IP Vanish for. IP Vanish is offering a 70% off yearly plan. John, did you hear that? 70%
70%'s a ton.
off of your yearly plan. That's a ton. I mean, that's a lot for me anyways. I mean, but hey, for our listeners with a 30-day money-back guarantee, on top of the 70% off, you're getting 30% money-back guarantee. That's just like getting 9 months for free. Did you hear that, John?
Hear that.
9 months for free. It's almost equivalent to that.
Look, IP Vanish is super easy to use. It is one tap of a button and you are instantly protected. So it's not that you can't do it. I can do it. So if I can do it, I know you can do it. You won't even know that it's on. So this is a product that you can have and use and keep you and your family protected from people that want your information out there. This is a great product. You need to get IP Vanish.
Go to IPVanish/weighing in. Use that promo code weighing in. Get your 70% off or equivalent to your 9 months free. John, I got to tell you, there's no reason for you guys not to go.
Predictions. Look at that. He wants predictions already.
I think like Gaethje's weakness, I think is going to continue to be the jiu-jitsu, and the guy who is the strongest, I think, in that division in jiu-jitsu is the guy who's the champion. And so, I think he's proven. I think at 55, man, his chin's better. His wrestling seems like
wrestling's better.
It's gotten a lot
his
better. His
striking's better.
His takedowns,
his attitude's
striking.
better. Everything about him is better, and his willingness to say, "I will not stop."
Yeah, I just wonder though, is this a fight where he does what he did with Dustin? Do you stand as much as you did against Dustin, or do you get the takedown right away?
I think he'll look for the takedown. Like he knows. Let's just be honest. There's a difference between Dustin and Justin.
Yeah.
When it comes to the jiu-jitsu game.
Yeah.
You know, the ability to submit Dustin is much more difficult than the ability to submit Gaethje. And he was able to submit Dustin, and he'll go to it when he can. Now, it's up to Justin to make sure that can't happen. I don't think that Oliveira is going to fight Gaethje in the fashion like we saw with Chandler, where he's going to sit there and say, "Oh, I'm going to engage in a stand-up fight with you because that's my best route to victory." It's not.
Yeah.
I think he knows that, and he will look for those opportunities to be able to suck Justin Gaethje into the ground fight. He watched Khabib do it and watched how he pressured him into making mistakes and being able to be put on his back. I'm not saying he's going to be able to do the same thing, but it's a great fight. Justin Gaethje is a freaking monster. And so is Charles Oliveira at this point. Charles Oliveira is a stud. And if you're going to take a look at who's the more well-rounded fighter, you got to go with the champ. He's the more well-rounded fighter. Doesn't mean he'll get the win, but he's the more well-rounded fighter. Yeah,
there's guys that I've seen that I've called out and said against Justin and been like, yeah, he's going to win. Like Chandler. I thought Chandler was going to beat him if Chandler fought smart. Chandler was never in that fight.
And that's what
it was a good fight.
I had the whole thing on that betting, and I said, if Chandler was going to fight smart, he'll win it. He's not going to fight smart. I'm going with Gaethje.
He's not going to fight smart. Yeah, and that's kind of what it came down to. Whereas Justin Gaethje fights the same way every single time. He fights balls to the wall, comes forward, normally, and when he's not being pushed around by guys like Khabib. But I think I think you hit the nail on the head. Charles Oliveira is going to take the center of the cage.
Yep.
And he's going to try to push. He's going to try to push Justin Gaethje backwards with his push kick and his combinations. And when Justin comes in too much, you're going to try to wrestle him. If he does wrestle him, I think once it hits the ground, if he's able to hit the ground with Justin Gaethje, I think he gets a submission.
Good chance.
Good chance. But it should be a fun fight.
It's a great fight.
The question is getting him down, if he can get him down. So, all right, go to weighinginpodcast.com. Pick up some of our merch there. We got a bunch of new shirts, new sweaters, a bunch of things that are up there right now. We got a coffee mug. It's pumped. I got to get one. I got to actually place an order there, John. Okay, so we offer these things in all different colors: maroon, gray, heather gray, black, white. Everything is available. So you guys check it out at weighinginpodcast.com. I always want to just say and still, because it was a habit for so long. So go to WeighInPodcast.com, pick up some of our merch there, take a picture, post it, and let us retweet
and we
tag us in it.
And we will put up a shirt there that says, and still.
And still. We got to get that done. Hey, we got to get that done. We got to do the and still. We got to do the tall, long, and lanky. Dave's got to come up with some designs. We got to have Dave do that.
What's up, Dave?
Yeah, what's up, Dave? Jeez, Dave.
A non-designer coming up with designs. Okay, sounds good.
Non-designer coming up with designs. I love it. All right, guys. Well, hey, hopefully you guys enjoyed this show. And John, take us off, buddy.
Hey, for everyone out there, thanks for listening to us. Do me a favor, man. Be good to someone. Make someone's day special, and we will see you.